We're still on our Nigeria at 55 special program to look at where we are today, how we got here, and what we need to do to move on from here on. I'll get back to the conversation, but just before I do that, let's go to Plateau State in Jos, especially to talk to Yemi. Yemi, good evening, and how are you? Happy Independence Day.
Oh, thank you. Good evening.
Okay.
Happy Independence Day.
Yes. Can you tell us what happened today in Plateau State? Was there any remarkable event or any special event to mark the 55th anniversary of our independence in Nigeria?
Actually, there was nothing that was so significant or unique because it was a low-key celebration here on the Plateau. We only had a press statement from the governor of Plateau State, Honorable Simon Bakola Long, while felicitating with Nigerians on the celebration of the nation's independence anniversary. And he noted that Nigeria is witnessing a rebirth of the country which our forefathers envisaged. He also made mention that Nigeria is on the rise again, particularly with the APC government both at the national and state levels, which has brought the needed change that Nigerians really deserved. And he also sent congratulatory messages to the president and commander-in-chief, the vice president, the senate president, and the speaker, House of Representatives, as well as the senate president. He also made mention that he's using the occasion to reiterate his government's determination to make sure that there is purposeful leadership to the people of the state and the issue of good governance and peaceful coexistence, particularly in some areas which were having some security challenges in Riyom, Barkin Ladi axis, which for now is very, very calm. It was a low-key celebration, and he said the occasion calls for deep reflection on the state of our nation, which will all have to strongly play our roles in making sure that the fight against corruption is not left for the president alone, but all Nigerians. Also, there are children that went out for funfair, while some faith-based organizations used the opportunity of the celebration to preach the gospel across the state capital. There was nothing so specific. There was no parade and nothing whatsoever. It was just the statement that was released by the state governor while there is a peaceful celebration across Plateau.
Okay, just before I let you go, in one or two sentences, did the governor putting any emphasis on the issue of cattle rustlers and the communal clashes that we've experienced in that region?
In his statement, what he just said was that the government will provide a purposeful leadership to the people of the state in engendering their good governance and peaceful coexistence. There have been various meetings between Fulani headsmen and the Birom indigenes in Barkin Ladi and Riyom axis, while the Special Task Force have been trying to get Russell cows from those that were responsible. And recently, in fact, the Archbishop of Anglican Diocese, Bishop Kwashi's house was burgled into, and not less than about 20 cows were also there, while the STF were trying to see that they recover some of those Russell cows.
Okay, thank you very much, Yemi. Well, happy independence again, and we'll we'll be looking forward to speak with you again soon.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, okay. Back to you, Colonel. I was asking that in terms of what the president has made clear, when you look at the issue of IDPs, this is a major issue for a lot of people who are monitoring what is going on in the Northeast. Someone said recently that there is, I think it's about 2 million, over 2 million people have been displaced in the Northeast. And they compared that to the population of Qatar and said if you have a whole country that size being displaced in the northeast of Nigeria, what should we be doing about internally displaced people to not create a security hazard for the future?
Well, we must show full commitment. Unfortunately, we find ourselves in this situation at a time when I would say the country is, so to speak, broke. Whatever the case, like you have rightly said, if we don't take adequate steps to ensure that the IDP issue is well sorted out, and how do we go about this? I have often talked about the need for a proper de-radicalization program that would see us, trying to sort out those who might still have certain misconceptions or perception about the entire situation. We single those we can single out and see how we try to correct this, bringing in all the elements that are required to run a de-radicalization program, which should end up with a rehabilitation. If we do not take steps to rehabilitate most of the IDPs, I can assure you they will still remain in their indigent state and eventually still be a problem to us.
Okay, so don't you think that in terms of what government should be doing then is that has got to be taken away from the military, because the military hasn't got what it takes, have they, in terms of managing IDPs?
That is why I feel a bit disturbed at times when I hear that some level of de-radicalization is taking place within the ambit of the military. I'm thinking that the military already has its hands full. Some organization should be handling this in conjunction with the International Red Cross,
all the other international,
yes, that could come in, all the NGOs and so on, that will come in a supportive role. They know how to run these programs. It includes the entire DDR program, which normally we run in operations, at the end of every operation in most cases. All right? When we run this program with this, when we operate this with the IDPs, I can assure you that when you get to the tail end where the rehabilitation process comes in, you now have a better opportunity of, enabling or empowering these IDPs to be able to pick up life on their own.
Start all over again.
Yes.
Okay.
We must expose them to some forms of trade and so on. There are lots of things that comes into the entire package.
Okay. We'll take the conversation because I want to look at, again, the issue of how the government is going to tackle this, and I'll talk to the two professors in the House. But let's quickly go to Oyo State. Bukola Oriowo is in Ibadan, Oyo State. Bukola, good evening. Happy Independence Anniversary. Oh, we just lost Bukola there. Okay. We lost Bukola just there. Okay, so let me ask you, Professor Fajoyomi. Now, when you look at this, you realize that a major problem is brewing. Over 2 million people, the size of Qatar in terms of population, possibly a few other countries around the world, are not more than 2-3 million. Do you think that the president, when he looks at 2016 budget, should be creating something that should be almost like the state budget, specifically for IDPs?
I think just like the colonel has rightly pointed out, we have a big problem in our hands. First of all, sustaining them. Because I read the returning them gradually to Borno State. Now they might lose maybe even the maintenance, the food, the clothing, the whatever they needed that were being given to them while they were in the camps. If they get back homes, don't forget, most of those houses have been demolished. Are there homes for them to live in? If there are no homes for them to live in, it takes just a simple discussion again to get them back to where they came from. And I think that's why we might have to actually get a sustainable program. And it will take nothing less than 2 to 3 years. If you want to believe, like many of these people are so young, I think when we were recruiting them, certain things were said that with ordinary $100, $200, they give the parents say, go, don't worry. Let me leave you, go and do whatever they say you should do. So if they go back now, what will be there? Are they going to start farming immediately? Are they going to start trading immediately? And those are just the long term, not even short term. Short term is give them money. After giving them money, like we have in legal data now, the money is also going out.
Okay.
And so on and so forth. So I think government should think seriously about that. If not, we're going to get back to where we started from. And
Okay.
it's going to be more serious.